Sugar Geeks, Liz here with
Christophe!
And today we are going to be making what?
A homemade butter croissant recipe from scratch.
All right, let's get started.
So you want to have like cold water, not too hot. Add our dry yeast inside our water.
Is this active yeast or instant yeast?
This is instant yeast. So I'm going to dissolve the yeast with the water a little bit because if you don't do that, sometimes your dry yeast doesn't melt completely and you can end up having some lumps inside your dough.
So the difference between active yeast and instant yeast is active yeast is useless. It takes a long time for it to get activated and to start working. Instant yeast, it just works much quicker. So especially if you're at home and we're making this long process already, make sure on your package it says instant yeast.
And then we're going to add our milk powder.
Okay.
So then we can add the flour.
Is this bread flour or all-purpose flour?
This is high gluten flour actually.
Ah, okay, so bread flour.
And then sugar, salt. So now we add our cold melted butter inside the dough. And then we mix it for 4 minutes in a first speed. Now we're going to put it on second speed for 4 minutes. All right, Liz, we're good. Our dough is ready to rest.
Okay.
All right, so now that we have our dough, I'm just gonna knead it by hand.
Make it into a nice ball.
Yes, nice and smooth. What I'm doing is I take the dough from the outside to the inside in the center and I'm creating all the edges to the center. And once it's like this, then I finish it by hand.
You're pushing.
And I put outside from the inside, outside from the inside.
I see.
Kind of like making a loaf of bread.
Yeah.
So now it's pretty tight. You see, my dough is really nice. It doesn't crack. That means the gluten has been developing. And now we are going to let it rest until it doubles its volume with a plastic wrap over the top.
And we want to place this into a warm but not hot area, right?
Correct.
So we have a little toaster oven that has a warming stage that puts it about 90 degrees, or you can turn the light on to your oven, leave the door open and put it in there, but don't forget it's in there.
Room temperature will work. I will say around 72 Fahrenheit, you can leave your dough for about 2 hours. If the temperature is warmer, maybe 1 hour will be enough. I will just look at your dough when it's finished to be kneaded, and then as soon as it doubles of its size, then
Ready to go.
it's a good sign for you to go to the next step.
Yeast needs time and temperature and moisture to activate, and it eats the sugar inside the dough and then it burps out bubbles. Say that in a nice way. And these bubbles is what makes your dough rise. So if your yeast does not have one of those things, time, temperature, or moisture, it will not rise, and then you'll say, why didn't my dough rise? So it is something that is very sensitive to its environment, and it's important that your yeast is alive and active.
All right, so the butter block will be used to do the lamination for the croissant, and that's what will create the flakiness of the croissant, the buttery flavor, and how the croissant will just raise and have this beautiful spider web in the inside.
So the key to a flaky croissant is proper lamination, right?
That's right.
So you want to have lots of layers, of distinct layers, butter, croissant dough, butter, croissant dough, butter, croissant dough. And if your butter gets too soft, then it all just becomes together and you have no lamination.
I'm using a 82% European butter right now, so that's the content of fat that is inside our butter.
Take some plastic wrap and place it on the table here. And then you take your butter. This is still in its shape, but soft enough that you can
I love it.
impress it,
Yes.
right? So that's important. And then you put your plastic wrap, you fold it to the size that you want your butter to be.
8 by 8.
And then when you roll it, you can easily roll it into the corners.
Wow. I am so impressed right now. The thickness is 1/4 of an inch. We're going to leave this in the cooler for now.
I think our dough is ready.
It double of its volume, is ready to be rolled.
And it's been about an hour and 15 minutes.
All right, so now we are pressing down our dough, and the purpose of pressing down our dough is to
Degas.
correct. So we have to take in consideration the size of the butter that we cut before. And this dough needs to be 3 times longer than the size of the butter. And I don't know if you noticed, but it's about the same thickness of our butter. So now we put this inside the shippen, we wrap it, and we put it in a freezer. Not too long. You don't want to freeze the dough, but you want the dough to be pretty hard. All right, Liz, our butter is ready to go. A little bit firm, but not too firm, otherwise it will crack. We have our croissant dough already, so we're going to place our butter. So then we fold the first part all the way to half of the butter. So we enclose the butter inside our dough on both sides. So what I will do is I will pinch one side just to make sure the butter will not go away. Now what I will do is I will tap, tap, tap just to make sure the butter that is enclosed go in every corner of the dough. And then flour on the bottom, flour on the top, and then we roll the dough.
You've rotated your croissant dough. So the seam down the middle.
And on the top.
And you don't want your butter to get too warm, so you got to work quickly.
Correct.
The thickness should be about a
quarter
inch
inch.
again. Yeah.
Again, yeah.
Yeah, and it is. And then lengthwise, this looks to me about like 20 inches.
We are folding halfway through again.
So this is laminating the dough, right?
Yes.
Making all those flaky layers.
And then we fold again.
And then you turn.
And then we could have go a little bit larger. So you want to spread it again, and we're going to have the dough resting a little bit.
Okay, it's getting a little
in the freezer.
stretchy.
It's stretchy, so we're going to leave the dough a little bit of time to relax. A little piece of wrap over the top, and let's put it in a freezer for about 10-15 minutes.
Okay.
All right, Liz.
Book
we are
fold
ready.
number 2.
Exactly.
So why are we trimming?
To have like a beautiful, nice rectangle or double fold croissant dough ready.
Okay.
We put it in the freezer until it gets pretty hard, and then we're going to be able to roll our croissant dough and finally shaping them into croissant. Our dough is cold,
Yep.
but not too cold.
Not frozen.
Okay? But it's pretty firm. We want to have 10 inches.
And this is
wide.
Does it matter if the fold is at the top or the sides?
The fold needs to be at the top. That's correct. And then we're going to roll our dough thinner, lengthwise. Correct. Let's roll our dough and make our croissant. So right now we are at 9 inches. So you see the thickness? It's about 4 millimeters. I'm going to cut some triangle.
So he made his first cut at an angle to start the triangle, and then you alternate. So here we're starting at 4, 4, 4, 4, and then if you were to come straight up, it would be like 2, and then you measure 4, 4, 4 over.
So we're gonna mark it first, just to ensure proper consistency. This recipe will make 12 croissants. I'm stretching a little bit the tips of the croissant, and I'm pinching it so the butter is going to actually help to glue the croissant. Now we're going to wrap them, put them in a cooler, and we're going to proof them tomorrow morning.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, Liz, good morning. How are you doing today?
I am really ready to bake these croissants.
Awesome. So we let them set overnight. Now it's time to proof our croissant.
Okay.
So usually in a restaurant or in an hotel or in a bakery, we have what we call a professional proofer. So that brings the proofer some humidity inside, and you can also adjust the temperature. We are at home, we don't have a professional proofer. However, we're going to come up with a really good idea for you to proof and to use your oven the same way as we will use a professional proofer. So now we are going to put our croissant inside the oven, and underneath we prepare a little cup, and we're going to pour a little bit of hot water so that creating a steamy environment. And then we're going to let them raise for about an hour or until it doubles its size. Make sure to don't have too much hot water directly too close to the shippen, otherwise some of the butter might leak because the temperature will be too hot. So it's really important to stay in a controlled temperature of between 76 and 78 Fahrenheit. Our croissants are proofed! Okay, so we can see that the croissants are doubled in size. Now it's time to egg wash them and bake them.
Yes, so normally we egg wash with a brush, but I saw you do this trick once and I thought it was so smart. You make an egg wash in a spray bottle.
Yes, that's just faster.
All right, let's do it.
Let's crack our eggs. And yes, we are going to use only the yolk. I just want to use the egg yolk for the better coloration, you know. So if you have 60 grams of egg yolk, you want to add 30 grams of water.
So like a 2-to-1 ratio.
Mix, mix, mix. And now we're going to egg wash our croissant. So the fact to add an egg wash over the top will help to have a nice golden coloration on the top of our croissant. Our oven is ready. It's set up at 370 in a convection mode. If you don't have a convection mode at home, it's okay, you can use your regular oven. If the heat's coming from the bottom, make sure to be pretty close from the bottom and not all the way top on the oven. It's just a little adjustment that you have to do depending on the kind of oven you have at home.
Okay, let's bake these guys.
So in a convection oven, because of the fan is on the back and going to the front, I will put the croissant this way because it's going to blow and it's going to push the dough on the left, and so the croissant won't open. All right, our croissant are ready.
Nice. Oh my God. Ah, there is no better smell than fresh croissants out of the oven. Oh my gosh.
I can't wait to try them.
These look so
Yes.
good. You ready to try this croissant, Christophe?
Yes, I am ready. But before, I have a question. Are you inspired to make this croissant at home? If you are, please leave a comment down below.
I'm certainly inspired. I'm pretty proud of this, yeah?
Let's try it.
Mmm. Oh my God, look at that. It's so fluffy.
Bye guys, thank you for watching and we will see you in the next video.